previous minutes of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
And then you could go, yeah.
Right here.
I have April 5th in March.
Either,
All right.
yeah,
All right.
click on that box.
This one?
Yep,
Glad you hang on to.
and then make it large.
You must have boxes,
And
20 centimeters.
then when you're.
Makes good insulation.
Moving from-
Also protects you from gunfire, you know, you get enough of that on the walls, they can't shoot through that.
Hey, have a good night.
Eat sandbags.
How do you find all that?
What am I gonna do? I guess I could recycle it.
Oh, that's tough.
I remember when Tommy had one of his fires and he had all those files and some stuff got wet, but he could pull stuff out because it was so packed in there. And it was like, it was never, you know, disturbed.
Mentioned one of the spotters.
Yeah, one. I'm thinking of that one and he had all these books and stuff hanging over the railing out there to air dry.
Had it for weeks.
Yeah, poor guy.
Kids out there power washing.
It wasn't the fire, it was the water damage from the fire department, because obviously you want to put the fire out.
Oh, that was
They
when
soaked
he
every
was out.
square into that place. And the stuff in the file cabinets, yeah, it got a little wet, but I mean, I remember saying, what, all this stuff is fine.
Oh,
How the minutes look, Paul?
Hmm?
Were those, are you done with the minutes?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
where's Jim?
Playing croquet.
He'll be here.
No, he better not be playing croquet. I'll go get him. Is he supposed to notify if he's come?
He'll be here. He's running out of time to be on time.
Let me know when we're ready to roll.
Actually, late.
I've never been
You got 4
actually
minutes.
late in my life. I'm always early.
I hate being late.
My dad stressed, you be on time.
Or
I stressed,
At
yeah,
least 5, 10 minutes early.
so I'm always early. So the neighbors learned if they were gonna have a party to tell me when they wanted me to come, because if they gave me a time, I was there. And probably the only one. What is this?
Hello.
You were both work for people too. In your career. Yeah, you were both boss and employee, right?
I ran my own company.
Yeah, so you expected your people to be on time.
And I would plan all my meetings so I could go when I wanted to go. I would not before 10.
Smell.
Oh, maybe 10 years, 15 years. I ran it out of the house, so we wrote off the whole house. John loved that. All of it. I did florals and stuff, so they were huge. So I'd have them sitting all over. I said, just let the IRS come and challenge me on anything.
Was that in Minnesota or?
Mhm.
Yeah. How long did you live in Minnesota?
You see, Corey was 3 when we came up there, and he's 25 now. He's your age. The age of my baby.
You spend almost as much time up here as down there.
Hello.
Hello.
Did somebody make introductions to our new TPC member?
I don't know who he is.
Dave Ewan, correct? Pronouncing that right?
Yes.
Sue Ellen.
Well, so check.
Charlie Brummer, how you doing, Dave?
Hi, Charlie.
Schaefer. Max, our new town administrator.
Hi, Max.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Does Jackson belong to you?
Yeah, Jackson's my son.
He's a very sweet boy.
He has his moments.
Well, around me is all good moments.
Those are the times he should be sweet for sure. That's good.
He's a good worker for Marie too. She keeps him in line.
That's good.
It is 4:00.
Can we roll?
Go ahead.
All right. Town of LaPointe Planning and Zoning Town Plan Commission, regular monthly meeting agenda, Wednesday, May 7th, 2025 at 4:00. Call to order.
Charles Brummer.
Also check.
Paul Wilharm.
David Allen.
Okay, Jim's late. Come on, Jim.
Maybe you thought it was worth it.
Well, he knows. He was here.
I'm just saying.
Public comment. Paul, you got anything to say?
Nothing on the agenda tonight, but I just wanted the board to know, since you're the town planning commission, we get CNN this Sunday at 7:00. There's gonna be an hour-long program examining the problems of over tourism. Affecting the long standing communities, basically ruining what people went there to look at in the first place. So if you get CNN this Sunday at 7, we give it again,
You said Sunday at 7?
7 PM CNN.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful. You got anything to say, Bob? Okay. All right, approval of previous minutes. They looked all right to me.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of 4/2/2025 as presented.
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, passes. Zoning administrators report.
You think my written, there's really not much to add. I am working with our new treasurer in collecting room accommodation tax. I'm sending letters out and the quarterly returns with all the permits that quarterly reporting forms. With all the permits that I get, so that they're aware that they have to report whether somebody else paid it for them or not. That way they can start keeping track a little bit better. And I'm gonna try and text Mr. Peters and say, where the hell are you?
Okay,
One question, Ed, on here on your building land use permit number, is that bottom number instead of 411? On the up top here.
Definitely a typo there.
Okay.
Yep.
Not the end of the world, but it does look like permits are down from this point last year.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't have the document in front of me. What is the current permit count?
I think I issued 23 permits, town permits this year.
Okay.
As of right now.
Thank you.
there's not much land left, is there?
Driveways and stuff. We
Yeah.
had 5 of them to approve tonight.
Okay. Old business, review land use applications.
All right, start out with, Bob Hartzell has an application for a well house. It meets all setbacks without any problem. It's drawn in on his new CSS, land division map. The well house is too.
You got a bunch here, which one?
But, so that one I don't see any issues with. Let's go on. I'll explain them all because they're all pretty easy. Jim Peters. If he was here, we'd start saying all kinds of derogatory comments about how we should not give him a permit. He wants a permit for sauna. Setback.
Jim?
Jim Peters,
Yeah, and I
yes.
think that lab's been in for
The
several.
lab has been
many,
poured
many
for a
years.
long time, yes. Aaron Babb is putting in an accessory shed. It's just a 16 by 18 shed. I walked the property yesterday. Meets all setbacks, no issues there whatsoever. Steve, let's move on from that one. That's not yet. There should be.
Bob, where's the well house gonna go? On the other end? From our end?
The old well.
Mine, yeah.
It just up the road, it's gonna also be.
Up Mount Damon or up
Right here.
up Pump House Road, back in there?
Right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the last permit is Brenda Kane. Their house got flooded. There's a flood a couple of years ago. I went in January, took measurements from the roads, from the septic tanks, from the lake, so we can put the house in exactly the same
Sure.
footprint it is.
Yeah, because otherwise it's a substandard structure where you're replacing same with same.
Right, I discussed it with Ashland County zoning administrator, and he has no issues with it whatsoever.
Probably only changes elevation, to get it up on a little bit more.
Yes, the only change there will be is an elevation change.
Which makes sense to me, because you don't want the same thing up. Yes.
So those are the permit applications we have.
Good, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Review Hartsel subdivision map, make recommendations. Subdivision map, that's the big thing you got there, right?
So this is the final map
Yes.
on the back of
Where?
the, well, we got all this information from
Well,
that, with
yeah,
the declaration of covenants, conditions, restrictions.
Yeah, the map didn't change from last month. That was given to you last month along with the map subdivision application. But the covenants are changed to reflect what you asked for.
Yeah, I read through the covenants and it looks like it is all of our criteria.
Do you have anything in the covenants talking about a trailer on site until as long as you're working, it's okay?
Correct, yeah, there's a covenant in there, I don't remember.
Well, that's what we signed.
What?
That's what we signed years and years and years ago from Bob.
Right,
See?
there is a covenant in there similar, the trailers are only allowed the whole drink.
As long as you're building.
The line, right,
Good for you, Bob.
I have a quick question, Bob. So is the enforcement mechanism with all these covenants and conditions, is that like the homeowners association that's gonna be enforcing that? I mean, it's kind of beyond our purview anyways, but I'm just curious if there's.
you know, it's sort of a good question, and I've asked that with the attorney a couple of times, but it's sort of, you know, they're there, so the homeowner association could be illogical. The homeowner association that was created was primarily to deal with the road maintenance. You know, because of the, we created a private road, and we really tried to avoid having a homeowner association, but damage to that, it's probably the easiest for us to have a homeowner association.
Well, the fact that we signed kept all of us honest.
But
We never thought about going against it.
They kept you honest? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Honest, sorry.
I mean, we all abided by it. We signed it and we all abided by it. So I think it's a good thing to have, but I didn't know why is to have it.
But I will say, between you and your attorney, you came up with a lot of good stuff in here, and I just wish you well as far as enforcing some of it. And I know why you're doing it, to keep everything uniformed and in harmony, so
At least
good
you have-
luck. I hope it works. I hope it works.
At least you have some recourse, so.
Yeah, I'm asking questions.
Okay. We reviewed it. Okay, make recommendation. The subdivision map. Anybody want to make a recommendation?
No, I'll make I'll move to recommend to the town board approval of the Hartsel expandable condominium project. As presented.
That the expandable company? That was that, I mean.
Oh, excuse me.
No, the subdivision map.
Okay,
It's the Raspberry Field.
This is the subdivision map application.
I'll amend my motion to recommend to the town board approval of the Hartsel subdivision map as presented tonight at this meeting.
I'll second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Passes.
Sorry about that. I was looking under new business.
Yep.
I jumped
Discussion
ahead.
of draft or ordinance possibly set date for public hearing.
Without Peter's here, we were gonna discuss kind of some more of the changes that we have worked on. I think it's too early to discuss a public hearing because we're talking August or September, anything. So I think we table that.
Table, okey dokey. New business. Discussion on removing the stop work order from the Hartsel Expandable Condominium Project. Make recommendation.
Max, could you discuss authority?
So I'm not the town lawyer, but we did pull the statute that talks about review of determination. So the idea, I think that the situation is there's someone who gave the authority, which is the town gave the authority to James Price to do what is supposed to do. He made a decision to put a stop work order on this particular project. And that decision that he made to put that stop work order on it, you or Mr. Hartsel have asked him to.
He thinks it needs to be appealed. Mr. Price does. Bob has nothing to appeal. He has made his changes to the drawings to comply with UDC permitting regulations. But because that stop work order was put on, Mr. Price will not look at these drawings and move forward. He's held this project up for 2.5 years with this.
Well, who deals with him?
Well, under your authority, if you say that TPC as the municipal body that governs this, governs our ordinances and our permitting, which you are, that you will direct him to remove the stop order and continue reviewing the plans so this project can move forward.
So he still has to review the plans and authorize them. This is
Yes.
just to get the process moving. again.
Yes, this process has stopped since last summer when he put there's nothing to appeal. There's no reason to take this to appeal anything. He's complying with what is asked for. He's changed his drawings to comply with UDC regulations. Mr. Price's directive is to review the house plans and issue permits if the plans are UDC compliant. That's what his job is.
So we need to ask him to move forward,
You need to direct him.
to move forward and to look at everything to make sure it's
Yes.
in good shape.
If you guys vote to say we would like the stop work order removed, I will send him email tomorrow telling him TPC has directed him to remove the stop work order and to continue reviewing plans.
Okay, discussion, what you think? I think.
Well, it sounds reasonable. This has been going on 2.5 years. Who is James Price's boss in this? It's a town, isn't it? Or is it somebody in the state of Wisconsin?
He contracts with us.
Right.
There are higher ups in Madison, and if we have to, we'll contact them.
Okay.
But we thought right now, let's try this simple. TPC is the municipal.
Do we need a
authority here.
motion to do
Yes,
that?
I would like a motion and votes.
Okay. Somebody want to move?
Well, I'll make a motion to remove the stop work order from the Hartsel Expandable Condominium Project. See, I got it right this time. And then I recommend same to the town board.
Well, I don't know that we need to present this to the town board because TPC is the governing body over our ordinances and stuff.
Yeah,
I
you
know I
just-
put that on the agenda, but I will notify the town board if that's the directive, unless you guys want me to wait a week on doing this and take it in front of the board first.
No, go. It's been 2.5 years now.
I'll amend my motion just to say that I move that we direct removal of the stop work order from the Hartsel Expandable Condominium Project by the UDC inspector, James Price. I think that should cover it for now, correct?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Want a second?
I'll second.
Okay, and we've discussed, I think.
Does Dave have some?
You have, Dave, what do you think?
No, I have nothing to add. I think unless James Price came forward with the predicate for relieving the stop order and he doesn't seem to have one, he needs to engage in fair dealing here. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, good. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Passes. Okay.
Yeah, and we need to email Bob about this, that the IC has reversed the decision.
Yes, I will email Bob and Mr. Price and notify that this has been reversed and they should move on.
Okay, moving forward. Set date for a public hearing for Steve McHugh, CUP, the home occupation.
And that was a typo there, it's the home business.
Oh, home business, God.
Yeah, but there's an application for a home business, a CUP for a home business. We have to set a public hearing in 60 days.
Okay, well, it's May, June, that's July.
July, do it for July's meeting, right before our meeting, move our meeting back till after a public hearing.
Just a point of order, is the public hearing 30 days or is it 60 days? I thought it was 30 days all the way from
I just have that information. So
Hey, Ed, just a point of clarification for me. What sort of home business requires a CUP?
anything that's gonna have more than a couple customers a day. Technically, he's got his artist shop out there. And he
Okay.
does sell, his artwork there, so he gets more than one or two customers a day. It's not a home occupation, and in the zone he's in, it requires a CUP to get a home business.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well,
Not your D.
it's what?
Look at on D there. I think it's 30 days, not 60 days.
It's 30 days, yes, it is, thank you.
Long time.
So we
Okay,
can do it, June.
You could do it at before our June meeting, at least the public hearing. You don't have to make a decision on it the same day, but
Right.
at least we could incorporate that before.
does that have to be published and?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, for now,
consecutively.
we did find out that law was removed, Paul.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so once we change our ordinance, we do not have to post it in newspapers.
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, the June meeting is the 4th.
So you want to have the public hearing at 4 o'clock or 4:30 on the 4th?
I think we have to go 4:30. I don't think we can go 4 o'clock. And then we'll have our meeting right afterward.
Yeah.
Our regular monthly meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, immediately after.
And you can always put this on the regular monthly meeting. You can discuss that farther when we get under item 8 and future agenda items and number 10, schedule next meeting.
So we have public hearing 4:30 on
June 4th.
June 4th.
Right.
That's coming
That is
fast.
June 4th, right?
Yeah,
That probably get pen, yeah, make the notes of this stuff.
Here you go.
and then meeting. Okay,
And obviously he's got the proper, dropped off a check with all this.
Yes.
But I didn't see it recorded on the sheet, but.
Actually, the sheet I have.
Oh, you got it on.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I
Yeah,
just
Okay.
keep track of it on one sheet.
that's fine. So he's basically just asking for what he's doing currently.
Yes.
Does he have music events out there? I see that's being advertised in the
Monday.
Gazette.
yeah, I mean, when
He'll have
he's got a gal that plays violin or something.
somebody play some music on one night a week and serve wine and.
Okay, well, I mean, that stuff would come up at the public hearing anyway.
Yeah, okay. C, discussion on having ZA going back to approving land use applications, make recommendation to the town board.
Jim wanted this on?
Yes.
Jim, where?
Yeah. Left us.
I don't know. I just want to see this maybe go a little bit longer. It's only been in place since this winter. And I think things are working okay so far, and it's no reflection on you, Ed, but for me, I just want to see us go through maybe a few more months, but
Let's take it.
we can table it to the next meeting, discuss it when Jim's here, and that's fine.
Good.
I don't know if Paul or David have, or you.
I don't care one way or the other.
Same here.
Do you have any discussion on that, David?
No discussion on that right now.
Okay,
Yeah, we can table it.
yeah.
Okay, that's table. We're moving right along. Commissioner updates, fire numbers. Anybody to do them?
I think it's on the town agenda, or
to hire somebody.
Yeah. got it on the agenda.
Too bad they can't
Well, I
get the
know,
little gal back.
Ray was downtown putting stakes in the ground around the downtown area to mark
Yeah,
locations.
they did the locate for all the downtown.
I still need one on South Shore Road because my 1004 went missing last year and it never got replaced.
Hmm.
But
Well, you can either mention it to Pete or.
I'll show you where the hole was where someone, and I've got pictures when my building collapsed. I took a picture and there's the fire number there, and now somebody grabbed it when they replaced my one across the street, but they never replaced it on that side. I thought they had an order of the number and maybe that's still.
And that may have been. And we're. Angela gave me a bunch of numbers that I.
How's that
I had-
entrance?
Okay, I just thought
That might.
I'd mention it since we're on that during the agenda item.
Yeah,
We got it down at 4:30.
wrong. It was 4 o'clock. You agreed. You
You
just don't
agreed last
remember.
It's always, like when the daylight saving times change and someone's late
We
for
missed
church,
you anyway.
I remember that,
Okay.
but you never missed church.
Partial expandable condominium. Anything new on that? We got a bunch of stuff here.
We just did everything.
Okay,
We took care of it.
good. Zoning rewrite?
Well, if you want to talk about Tech 3 as part of the zoning rewrite, I sent out, or Ed passed on what I did. I missed a few things in there. I looked over it again. So I do have a few more, changes where it says town zoning and planning commission to town planning commission. But everyone should have that and they can review it and get back to me with any
I
changes.
did pass it up.
Yeah.
And do you have objections? Dave he's gonna be in town next week. He's gonna pick up the rest of the packet of stuff for those, everything.
Mhm.
And then he's gonna be in town for most of the summer. I'll be here at most of the meetings. Would you like to partner with him on that project?
Absolutely. This month might be kind of tricky for me because I'm on jury duty, but,
Well, and this is not something that, as long as we have a draft rewrite before a public hearing for our ordinance.
yeah, absolutely.
You're
Sound like a
done.
plan, David?
That sounds great.
Awesome.
You're done. We've done.
See, Jim wasn't the last one here.
No, well, they're in cahoots, the two of them. Okay,
Don't say that.
comprehensive plan? What we got going on that?
Not much. I was working on the Tech 3, so that's why I figured that's more of a rewrite than anything. That should be incorporated with the zoning rewrite as we look for making everything compatible with the comprehensive plan as it currently stands.
Yes, and we have to go through section, whatever one that you just showed me.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right.
For our CUPs.
Section 7.
Yeah, it's 30 days to a public hearing on the CUP, but we need to change it so we don't have to put it in the paper because that law is gone.
Yeah, if that's not clear enough with the rewrite, we should absolutely make sure that's in there.
Yeah.
But it is 30 days.
Okay,
So
So not 60.
scheduled for 4:30, the first.
June 4th.
of June.
well, you came all this way in just to hear that. All right, future agenda items.
You want to talk about the
Yes.
CA going back to approving land?
We got, I want to redo the bylaws. I want to look at the bylaws for TPC and put that on the agenda.
Why don't you pick somebody to have a group look at the bylaws and rewrite?
I don't think it's a big deal about it. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but I think we need to discuss it more than rewrite.
Well, if there's bylaws that need to be changed, they should be changed in a small group. And then brought to the board like we're doing with the rest of our things that we're changing.
Well, that is probably what's happened the last few years, but before that, we did not do that. We came in, we discussed it.
Okay, well, then,
What do you think? Charlie, what do you think?
Well, if you need the hand, I'll help you. It's only like 5 pages, well, and it's.
I know,
You guys
but we
can
ought to,
probably-
we ought to review this because nobody knows what's in the bylaws for the TPC.
Well, it wouldn't hurt if you guys spent the day and got a draft together, to bring to the next TPC meeting. You know, that draft of what you wanted to look at, instead of just going through the whole thing piece by piece.
Being persistent.
Can you send me on a PDF or something to my email, a copy of that, and then I can make changes like I did on Tech 3? You still have my email, so if you could do that, I'd appreciate it.
Well, then we'll just,
It's literally only like 5 or 6 pages.
I know, just discuss it amongst ourselves, but
Yeah, well, in
have
a
to
working group, yeah.
we could all say one sentence and discuss it instead of all this business.
Well, we can
That's-
still put it on next month's agenda.
Oh, sure. No, that's what I wanted. And I want the bylaws on.
Hey, Ed,
Okay,
when you send that to Charlie, will you send me a copy of the PDF as well?
I will send it to, put it
Everybody.
to everybody.
Thank you.
all right. What else do we have for a future agenda? Land use.
Well, that'll be under old business next time.
Yeah.
It's tabled.
Well, that's still future agenda though. What else? Anybody else have any right thoughts?
Well, the draft ordinance is old business, that'll be on there again, but we already knew that too.
Yeah, okay.
When you and Ed make up the agenda in 3 weeks, right, you'll,
Yeah, we'll see what comes up between now and then, and we have to put on the agenda.
Yeah. But
It's typically what dictates.
except that I want that on. Anyway, Paul, you got anything? Oh, that's nice.
Can I have someone else? They've got it.
Well, Bob's not saying much, so he seems to be content that things are going okay.
oh, it's Steve.
I have a question.
Of course you do.
The next meeting is for my CUP is, in a month. Can it be a week later?
Well,
The only reason I ask is I've got a surgery the day before.
oh, Lord,
Then
another
we
one?
should, then we should definitely try and have it. I mean, if it's just a public hearing, we can do it on a Wednesday at whatever time you want.
Yeah, and if he waives the 30 days, which it sounds like he's willing to do, we could do it later than 30 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, he's the applicant, so if he wishes it to be later than before, yeah.
And if we get it,
What date would you like?
just the following Wednesday would be fine.
Let me see what that is. That's June 11th.
Yep.
Okay, so public hearing, but we'll still have our meeting on the 4th,
Yes.
Hmm.
And then let's have our meeting at 4:00 again.
4 o'clock again. Jim,
Not 4.
4 o'clock, honey, 4 o'clock, get with it. Okay, and then that's our meeting and then the public hearing, 4:30. Should we make it 5 o'clock or 4:30? Okay. Steve?
5 o'clock. Whatever we can do is fine.
4:30.
Either is fine. Either
Public
is fine.
hearing should be at 5 for the people at work, I would think.
All right, he says they should be at 5. That's what I was wondering.
5 o'clock.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you for that accommodation.
of course. We try to fly.
There we go.
Okay, next scheduled meeting, June 4th, 4 o'clock. We've all got that down.
And then there,
And
June
then that's,
11th.
Huh?
And then his public hearing, June 11th.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, folks. It is 4:20. That's good. We're getting back on schedule.
Thanks, you all.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Thanks, David.
When does your son come?
Oh, I think he's doing about the beginning of July this year. He's got some school to finish and some other things, but about the beginning of July.
It's too bad. He's such a nice kid.
Thank you, Sue Ellen. I'll let him know.
Yeah.
Say what?